Hello, everyone. I'm so thrilled you've picked up why we do what we do in life and business and how to change. For years, I've been traveling the world talking to people just like you. People who want to be better, achieve more, and feel more in control of their lives and their work. And one thing has become incredibly clear. We're all driven by forces we often don't even understand. Forces hidden deep within our brains, quietly shaping our decisions, our habits, and ultimately our destinies. This book isn't about magic or secrets. It's about science. It's about understanding the simple yet powerful mechanisms that drive our behavior, both good and bad. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of habits, how they're formed, why they're so persistent, and most importantly, how we can reshape them to create the lives we truly want. Think about it. How many times have you promised yourself you'd start exercising, eat healthier, or be more productive? And how many times have you found yourself backsliding into old routines? You're not alone, we all do it. But the truth is, it's not about willpower or motivation. It's about understanding the habit loop, the cue, the routine, and the reward. Once you understand this simple framework, you can start to take control. Whether you're struggling with procrastination, trying to break a bad habit, or simply wanting to optimize your performance at work, this book is for you. I wrote it in plain English, so you don't need a science degree to understand it. We'll use relatable examples from everyday life to successful business strategies to illustrate each concept. I want you to walk away from this book with concrete tools and strategies you can use immediately. You'll learn how to identify the habits that are holding you back, how to break down complex goals into manageable steps, and how to create new habits that propel you towards success. Specifically, by the end of this book, you will be able to understand the science behind habits and how they work, identify your own keystone habits and how they influence your life, break free from bad habits that are holding you back, build new positive habits that support your goals, apply habit-forming principles to improve your productivity at work, make better decisions by understanding your unconscious biases, create lasting change in your personal and professional life. This isn't just a book. It's a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Are you ready to take control of your life? Then let's get started. You have the power to change. You have the power to create the life you deserve. All you need is the right knowledge and the right tools. And that is exactly what this book provides. Let's unlock your potential together. All right, champion. Get ready to unlock a secret weapon that's hiding in plain sight. Your own habits. I'm talking about the stuff you do every single day without even thinking. It's time to pull back the curtain and expose those invisible scripts that are running your life on autopilot. Think about it. That first cup of coffee in the morning, checking your phone while waiting in line, the route you automatically take to work. These are all habits, ingrained routines that your brain loves because they save energy. They're like little programs running in the background, making decisions for you before you even realize you have a choice. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Imagine having to consciously decide every single morning how to brush your teeth. Habits are efficient. They free up your brain power for more important things. But here's the kicker. Not all habits are created equal. Some are helping you soar, while others are secretly holding you back. That afternoon slump that leads to scrolling social media for an hour, that late-night snacking that sabotages your health goals, those are invisible scripts you need to rewrite. The truth is, a huge chunk of our daily lives, both at home and at work, are controlled by these unconscious routines. They dictate our productivity, our relationships, and even our overall happiness. And the scary part? We often don't even realize it. We're just on autopilot, sleepwalking through our days. But here's the good news. Once you understand how these habits work, you can take control. You can identify the ones that are serving you well and consciously change the ones that aren't. This book is your guide to waking up from that autopilot mode. We're going to become detectives, uncovering the triggers and rewards behind your habits. You'll learn how to rewrite those invisible scripts and design a life that's driven by intention, not by default. Get ready to take the reins and steer your life in the direction you want to go. It's time to unmask those invisible scripts and unleash your full potential. Let's do this. All right, champions, buckle up. We're diving headfirst into the engine room of habit formation. Forget mystical incantations and complicated formulas. We're talking about a simple, powerful loop. Trigger, action, reward. These are the three building blocks you need to understand if you want to take control of your life and build the habits that will make you unstoppable. Let's break it down. The trigger, what starts the engine? Think of the trigger as the starting gun. It's the thing that kicks off the whole habit sequence. It could be anything: a time of day, a location, a feeling, another person, or even a random thought. It's the cue that alerts your brain. Example: you see a notification pop up on your phone. Trigger. The action, the fuel in the tank. This is the actual behavior, the thing you do. It's the routine your brain automatically executes when it receives the trigger. The simpler it is, the easier the habit will be to form. Example: you grab your phone and start scrolling through social media. Action. The reward, why you keep going back for more. This is the payoff, the reason your brain remembers and repeats the habit. It could be anything from a feeling of satisfaction to a physical reward. The reward reinforces the connection between the trigger and the action, making the habit stronger over time. It creates craving. Example: you get a little dopamine hit from seeing new posts and engaging with others. Reward. See how it works? Notification to scrolling to dopamine. Let's paint another picture, another example. Trigger: you feel stressed after a long day at work. Action: you pour yourself a glass of wine. Reward: you feel a temporary sense of relaxation. Your brain loves that feeling of relaxation, so it starts associating stress with the glass of wine. Over time, this becomes an ingrained habit. Understanding these three components is the first step to taking control. Now we move on to how you become a detective in your own life. All right, champion, let's do this. Chapter 3 of your new life begins now. Chapter 3, Spotting Your Triggers, Becoming a Habit Detective. Listen up, my friend. You've already learned about the incredible power of habits and how they run our lives. Now, it's time to put on your detective hat and Sherlock Holmes those pesky, unwanted habits right out of your life. Think of your habits as a train running on tracks. The trigger is the station that makes the train go. It's that simple. Without the station, the train just sits there. We need to identify those stations for the bad habits so we can reroute the train. So how do we find these triggers? We become habit detectives. And trust me, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's all about paying attention. Your first case, self-observation. First, you need to observe. Become aware of when your unwanted habit kicks in. What were you doing just before? What were you thinking? How were you feeling? Let's say John wants to stop checking his phone every 5 minutes. Instead of just feeling guilty after checking, he needs to hit the pause button and ask himself these questions beforehand or immediately after. Where am I? At my desk? On the couch? On the bus? The location matters! What time is it? Is it always the same time of day when it happens? After lunch? Before bed? What's my emotional state? Am I bored? Stressed? Anxious? Lonely? Who am I with? Am I alone? With friends? With family? Tracking is your superpower. Write it down. Don't just rely on memory. Humans are notoriously bad at remembering details. Keep a small notebook or use a note app on your phone. Every time the unwanted habit occurs, jot down the answers to the 4 questions above. Do this for a week or 2. The more data you collect, the clearer the patterns will become. This is like gathering evidence. Digging deeper, identifying your personal cues. After a week, review your notes. Look for repeating patterns. Do certain locations, times of day, emotional states, or people consistently trigger the habit. For John, he might notice that he checks his phone the most when he's at his desk, location, around 3 p.m. time, feeling bored, emotion, and working alone, people. Boom, he's found some triggers. Remember, these triggers are deeply personal. What triggers one person might not trigger another. That's why you need to investigate your habits. This isn't about self-judgment, folks. It's about understanding. Once you understand your triggers, you can start to take control. Now go out there, put on your detective hat, Gather your evidence and uncover those hidden triggers. You've got this. I believe in you. All right, champion. Let's dive into Chapter 4, the action plan. What are you really doing? Listen up. You've identified your triggers. You're ready to make a change. But hold on a second. We need to really understand what you're actually doing during your habit loop. It's not enough to say, I eat cookies. We got to dig deeper. Think of it like this. A marathon runner doesn't just run. They train, they hydrate, they pace themselves. They break down this huge task into smaller, manageable steps. And that's exactly what we're going to do with your habits. So let's say James, every afternoon around 3 p.m. feels that slump and heads to the vending machine for a candy bar. That's the surface. Now, what's really happening? Step 1. Awareness. James feels a dip in energy, maybe a little boredom. Step 2. The walk. He gets up from his desk and walks to the vending machine. Step 3. Selection. He scans the options, maybe even debates between chocolate and caramel. Step 4. Purchase. He inserts the money and retrieves his sugary treat. Step 5. Consumption. He unwraps the bar and begins to eat. Step 6. The aftermath. He feels a temporary energy boost followed by a crash later. See how much more detailed that is? Now we have actionable steps to work with. Your challenge now is to break down your own habit into similar bite-sized chunks. No pun intended. Grab a pen and paper. Yes, an actual pen and paper. No distractions. Focus on one habit you want to change. Don't rush. Be precise. The more you analyze, the better you'll be able to swap out unwanted actions for more beneficial ones. This isn't just about observation. It's about empowerment. By understanding the steps involved, you reclaim control. You're not a victim of your habits. You're the architect of your actions. You've got this. Okay. Get ready to unleash your inner habit hacker. It's your motivational guru here, and we're diving deep into the heart of what makes those habits tick. The reward. Chapter 5. The reward factor, decoding your true cravings. All right, champion, let's get real. You do things for a reason, right? Nobody jumps out of bed at 6 a.m. just for fun. Okay, maybe some people, but you get my point. There's a payoff, a reward that makes that action worthwhile. That's how habits are built. Now, a reward isn't always some huge flashing neon sign saying winner. Sometimes it's much more subtle, a quiet little feeling that says, oh, that's better. Think about it. Why do you reach for that cookie after lunch? Is it really about the taste? Maybe, but maybe it's about the feeling of comfort, the brief escape from a stressful afternoon. That's the reward. Decoding your true cravings is like being a detective, figuring out what need your habit is actually trying to meet. Let's say Jim automatically checks his phone every 5 minutes. The action is checking the phone. But the reward? Is it to see if he has new messages, a distraction from boredom, or a feeling of being connected? Once Jim understood the reward was distraction, he started reading books to fulfill the cravings. Here's the key. Your brain loves patterns. When it associates an action with a reward, it wires that connection tight. That's a habit, baby. And sometimes, those habits aren't serving you. You might be trying to reward yourself for a hard day by watching TV, but you might actually craving relaxation, and perhaps a walk in the park would be a better fit. So how do you find your true cravings? Experiment. If you indulge into a habit, pay attention to how you feel. Are you feeling satisfied, relaxed, energized, or fulfilled? Dig deep. And if the real reward is something different, replace the habit with actions that can give you similar, but more healthy reward. It's time to unleash your potential. Let's do this! All right, champion. Let's dive into Chapter 6, the golden rule of habit change. Keeping the cue, changing the routine. Are you ready to unlock a game-changing strategy? I know you are. Listen, we've already established that habits are powerful. They're running your life, whether you like it or not. But here's some amazing news. You have the power to rewrite those scripts. The golden rule is your secret weapon. Think of it this way. Your brain is a creature of habit, literally. It craves familiarity. So drastically changing everything about a habit is like throwing your brain into complete chaos it's going to resist. That's where the golden rule comes in. It acknowledges your brain's need for consistency while cleverly tricking it into a better routine. The rule is simple. Keep the cue, keep the reward, change the routine. Let's break it down with an example. Picture John. Every afternoon at 3 p.m., John gets a craving for a sugary snack. He walks to the vending machine and grabs a chocolate bar, the action, which gives him a temporary energy boost, the reward. The trigger? Feeling that afternoon slump at 3 p.m. Now, John knows this chocolate bar isn't good for him. He wants to break the habit. But if he just tries to white-knuckle his way through it, he's setting himself up for failure. His brain still expects that reward at 3 p.m. Here's where the golden rule shines. John keeps the trigger, 3 p.m. slump. He keeps the reward, energy, and feeling good. But he changes the action. Instead of the chocolate bar, he decides to take a 10-minute walk around the office building. The walk gives him a natural energy boost. Same reward. He gets some fresh air and a mental break. Over time, he successfully replaced the old habit with a better one that does not harm him. See how that works? Brilliant, right? By keeping the cue and reward, you're essentially telling your brain, hey, everything's okay, we're still getting what we want. But you're sneaking in a healthy, productive action that ultimately serves you better. The key is identifying the reward. John wasn't really craving chocolate. He was craving energy and a pick-me-up. Once he understood that, he could find another way to satisfy that craving. So get ready to use the golden rule. Start identifying those habits you want to change. Pinpoint the trigger and the reward. Then, brainstorm alternative routines that satisfy that reward in a healthier, more productive way. You've got this. All right, everyone, buckle up. We're about to dive headfirst into turbocharging your business, making it a lean, mean, profitable machine. This isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter, using the incredible power of habit. Chapter 7. Rewiring your business habits, boosting productivity and profit. Look around your workplace. What habits are driving your company? Are they propelling you forward, or are they secretly sabotaging your success? Time to shine a light. Spotting the problem habits. First, identify the productivity vampires. Is it endless, pointless meetings? The constant email checking that derails focus? Maybe it's the water cooler gossip that sucks up valuable time. Write them down. Listing them is the first, crucial step. Applying the trigger action reward framework. Remember our 3 building blocks. Let's use them to break down these bad habits. Take checking emails every 5 minutes. What's the trigger? Boredom? Fear of missing something? The action is, obviously, checking emails. And the reward? A temporary distraction, or a false sense of being busy. The golden rule at work. Now, use the golden rule. Keep the trigger, boredom, fear of missing out, but change the routine. Instead of emails, try a quick 5-minute stretch, a breath of fresh air, or tackling one small, urgent task. Redirect that energy into something productive. The reward will be a feeling of accomplishment. Productivity boosters. Let's flip this. What positive habits can we create? How about first-hour focus? The trigger. Arriving at work. The action. Dedicate the first hour to your most important task before checking emails or attending meetings. The reward. A huge sense of accomplishment and getting the big thing done first. This single habit can transform your entire day. Streamlining processes. Think about repetitive tasks. Can you automate any of them? The trigger, a specific task comes up. The action. Instead of doing it manually, use a software or create a template. The reward. Save time and energy, leading to increased efficiency. Example. Instead of manually tracking employee hours on a spreadsheet, trigger payroll week, use a time-tracking software. The reward? Accuracy, time saved, and less stress. Remember, consistency is key. Start small, celebrate your victories, and watch as your business habits transform into a powerful force for success. You've got this. All right, champion, let's ignite your relationships and forge connections that truly matter. Get ready, because Chapter 8, Cultivating Positive Relationships, Building Stronger Connections, is about to change the game. We often think of habits in terms of our individual actions, what we eat, how we exercise, or how we work. But guess what? Our relationships are built on habits too. The way we interact with our loved ones, friends, and colleagues becomes routine over time. Some of these routines are amazing, fueling love, trust, and respect. Others? Well, they might be unintentionally damaging, creating distance and conflict. Think about it. Do you always interrupt your partner when they're telling a story? Do you automatically get defensive when a colleague offers feedback? These aren't isolated incidents. They are patterns, habits playing out in your interactions. But here's the awesome news. Just like any other habit, you can consciously reshape these relationship patterns. First, awareness. Start noticing your reactions and the triggers behind them. Does hearing a particular tone in your friend's voice make you clam up? Is there a specific time of day when you're more likely to snap at your family? Once you've identified the triggers, you can begin to interrupt the negative routines. Instead of interrupting, try truly listening, repeating back what you heard to ensure understanding. Instead of getting defensive, take a deep breath and ask clarifying questions. Can you tell me more about what you mean? The key is to replace the negative routine with a positive one. Focus on empathy, active listening, and appreciation. Make a habit of expressing gratitude. A simple thank you can work wonders. Create rituals of connection. Maybe a weekly date night or a daily check-in with a loved one. Little, consistent actions build lasting bonds. Remember, strong relationships aren't built overnight. But by consciously shaping your habits, you can create connection that leaves you feeling more amazing as a person. You have the power to design relationships that enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Get out there and make it happen. All right, champion, let's get fired up. It's time to talk about something seriously powerful. Your choices. Chapter 9. The Power of Choice. Consciously Shaping Your Future. Listen, you've come this far. You've learned about the invisible scripts running your life, the triggers, actions, and rewards that make up your habits. You've become a habit detective, decoding your cravings and rewiring routines. Now is the moment you grab the wheel. Understanding your habits isn't just about knowledge. It's about empowerment. Knowing how your brain ticks gives you the power to decide where you want to go. It's like getting the instruction manual to your own amazing one-of-a-kind machine, you. This is where personal responsibility explodes. It's easy to blame circumstances, blame others, blame fate. But come on, you're stronger than that. You now know that you're not just a passenger in your own life. You're the driver. Think about it. Imagine you have a habit of hitting the snooze button 5 times every morning, making you rush and start your day stressed. Now that you understand the cue, the alarm, the routine, snoozing, and the reward, a few extra minutes of rest, which is often not restful, you have a choice. You can continue down that path, or you can consciously choose a different one. Maybe you change your alarm tone to something more energizing. Maybe you place your alarm across the room to force you to get up. Maybe you plan a small, enjoyable reward immediately after waking, like a delicious cup of coffee or a quick stretch. The point is, you get to choose. You are not defined by your past habits. You are defined by the choices you make today. Designing the life you want isn't some pie-in-the-sky dream. It's about making a series of conscious, deliberate choices aligned with your goals and values. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, one habit at a time. So stand tall, champ. The power to shape your future is firmly in your hands. Now let's go build something amazing. All right, champion. Get ready to flex that mental muscle. We're diving into the power of willpower, and I'm going to show you how to build it strong enough to smash through any challenge. Chapter 10. The Role of Willpower. Building Your Mental Muscle. Let's be real. Willpower isn't some endless supply of magic dust. It's more like a battery. It drains with use. You might feel like a superhero in the morning, crushing your to-do list. But by evening, maybe you're face first in a pizza, binge-watching cat videos. We've all been there. So is willpower a lost cause? Absolutely not. You can train it, recharge it, and strategically use it to win big. Think of it as a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. But here's the kicker. Brute force alone rarely works. Constantly fighting temptations is exhausting. The secret? Smart strategy, not just raw grit. This chapter is all about environmental adjustments. Stop fighting the urges and change your environment to support your goals. Managing your environment for willpower wins. Think about it. If you're trying to eat healthier, but your kitchen is stocked with cookies and chips, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're relying solely on your limited willpower to resist constant temptation. That's a tough battle. Here's the strategy. Out of sight, out of mind. Remove the temptations. Get rid of junk food. Hide the TV remote. If it's not readily available, you are less likely to act on impulse. Set yourself up for success. Replace temptations with healthy options. Keep fruits and vegetables visible. Place that book you want to read on your nightstand. Make the desired behavior easy and accessible. Create friction for unwanted habits. Want to cut down on social media? Delete the apps from your phone and only access them via your computer. The extra step creates friction, which gives you time to think. Use reminders. Put notes of your goals in places you tend to have old bad habits like your fridge or your computer to remind you of the change you want to do. Imagine someone, let's say Daniel, wants to quit smoking. Relying on willpower alone to walk past the corner store every day is a constant battle. Instead, Daniel changes his route to work, avoiding the store altogether. He replaces his lighter with a stress ball to occupy his hands. He tells his best friend, who encourages him, increasing the amount of social expectation. Smaller actions equal larger changes. You see, less fighting, more smart planning. Willpower isn't just about saying no. It's about designing your life so you can say yes to the things that truly matter. Now go out there and arrange your environment like a champion. Your future self will thank you later. All right, let's dive headfirst into Chapter 11, Keystone Habits, the Game Changers. Are you ready to unleash some serious power in your life? Because that's exactly what we're about to do. So what exactly are keystone habits? Imagine the keystone in an archway. You pull that one stone out, and the whole structure collapses. Similarly, in your life, keystone habits are those seemingly small actions that, when implemented, create a chain reaction of positive changes across many other areas. They are the linchpin of your success. Think about it. Let's say John starts making his bed every single morning. It sounds simple, right? Super basic. But get this. Making his bed leads to a feeling of accomplishment first thing in the morning. That little win sets the tone for the day. He's then more likely to exercise, eat a healthier breakfast, and be on time for work. Suddenly, one small habit is affecting his physical health, his productivity, and his punctuality. Boom! That's the magic of keystone habits. They're not miracle cures, but they act like dominoes, knocking down negative patterns and building up positive momentum. How do you find your keystone habits? Start looking for those activities that seem to have a disproportionately large impact. Some common examples include exercise. Regular physical activity isn't just good for your body. It improves your mood, boosts your energy levels, increases focus, and can even make you more patient. Mindfulness/meditation. Taking just a few minutes each day to calm your mind can reduce stress, improve your decision-making, and foster a sense of gratitude. Meal planning. Planning your meals can lead to healthier eating habits, save you money on groceries, and reduce the stress of deciding what to eat every day. The key is to experiment and see what works for you. Don't just take my word for it. Try incorporating one of these habits, or another activity that you suspect might be a keystone habit, into your routine for a week or two. Pay close attention to how it affects other areas of your life. You might be surprised by the ripple effect. Ready to start a chain reaction of positive change? Go find your keystone habit and start creating a new, better you today. All right, champion. Get ready to unleash the power within. Chapter 12 is all about igniting that fire, that unshakable I can attitude. Chapter 12, The Importance of Belief, Cultivating the I Can Attitude. Listen up. All the best strategies in the world won't mean a thing if you don't believe you can actually change. Belief is the fuel that powers the habit-changing engine. It's the wind in your sails, the rocket fuel for your dreams. Think of it. How many times have you started something only to give up because a little voice whispered, "You're not good enough," or "You'll never make it"? That voice is the enemy, and we're here to silence it. How do we do that? First, understand that belief isn't something you magically find. It's something you build. It's a muscle you strengthen. One of the best ways to build belief is through small, achievable wins. Remember our friend earlier? Trying to swap the evening TV habit for reading? The first step isn't tackling War and Peace. It's reading one page. Celebrate that one page. That little success chips away at the doubt and builds confidence. Another trick? Reframe your challenges. Instead of thinking, this is too hard, try, I'm growing stronger with every attempt. Instead of, I'm going to fail, think, what can I learn from this experience? This shift in perspective makes a huge difference. Think about it like this. Imagine a painter. They don't just pick up a brush and create a masterpiece instantly, right? They practice, they experiment, they learn from their mistakes. Each finished piece, no matter how small, fuels their belief that they can create something truly amazing. Finally, surround yourself with believers. Cut out the negative Nancys and surround yourself with people who cheer you on, who see your potential, and who remind you even when you stumble that you've got this. Their positive energy is contagious and will help you cultivate your own I can attitude. So, get rid of the naysayers. Remember, this isn't about being delusional. It's about acknowledging your potential, focusing on your strengths, and believing in your capacity to grow and change. So stand tall, warrior. Embrace the I can, and watch your habits and your life transform. Go on and be the best of yourself. Okay, get ready to unleash your inner champion. We're diving headfirst into Chapter 13. Small wins, big results, the power of consistency. Listen, my friend, you don't build a skyscraper overnight, right? It starts with one brick, then another and another, laid consistently, day after day. That's the magic we are talking about. It's the power of relentless consistency. Forget about instant transformations, that's just movie magic. Real change, the kind that sticks, comes from those small wins, those tiny victories you rack up, one after another. Think of it like this. You're trying to lose weight. Instead of aiming for a massive diet overhaul instantly, which usually crashes and burns, commit to one thing. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Just that. Every day. It feels insignificant, doesn't it? But guess what? Over weeks, months, that small change starts to add up. You're burning extra calories, strengthening your legs, and fostering a sense of accomplishment. That's the compounding effect in action. It's like compound interest. Small deposits grow over time, which snowball into something remarkable. Let's say Mark wants to learn Spanish. Instead, trying to memorize an entire textbook, Mark commits to learning 5 new words every day. Just 5. That seems easy, doesn't it? Many won't even bother with that few words. But in a month, Mark acquired 150 new words. In a year, he will know over 1,800 words. That is a good foundation for conversation. Celebrate those small wins. Did you stick to your 5 words today? Awesome. Give yourself a mental high five. Treat yourself to something small, not a sugary reward if you are losing weight, haha. Recognizing and celebrating progress releases dopamine in your brain, reinforcing that positive behavior. I understand it's not easy. Life is messy, and sometimes you will miss a day or not get things done. But important thing is to not throw the towel and stay committed. It's about getting back on track, dusting yourself off, and taking that next small step forward. So, are you ready to embrace the power of small wins? Are you ready to achieve massive results for consistent action? Begin today. Start small, stay steady, and prepare to be amazed at the big things you can achieve. All right, champion. Let's talk about the real stuff. The stumbles, the slips, the moments we all want to just give up. This is Chapter 14, Overcoming Obstacles, Dealing with Setbacks and Temptations. Listen, the path to a better you isn't a smooth highway. It's more like an off-road adventure. There'll be bumps, mud, and maybe even a few wrong turns. Expect it. Don't let it derail you. Understand setbacks and temptations are part of the game, not signs that you've lost. So how do you handle them? First, forgive yourself. You are human. Cut yourself some slack. Did you miss a workout? Ate that entire pizza, even though you promised yourself you wouldn't? It happens. Beat yourself up, and you'll just feel worse and likely repeat the mistake. Instead, say, okay, I messed up, it's done. What can I learn from this? Second, understand the lowly hobby. Why score? Backtrack. What triggered that temptation? Were you stressed, bored, lonely? Knowing your triggers is half the battle. Once you identify them, you can start building strategies to avoid them or deal with them differently. Example: John wanted to quit smoking, but always gave up when he had drinks with his friends at pub. Later he realized that that was the time that pushed him. Next time he avoided going there and the temptation. Third, replace, don't resist. Trying to simply resist temptation is like wrestling a greased pig. You'll just get covered in frustration. Instead, find a healthy replacement. Feeling stressed and want to munch on junk food? Go for a quick walk, listen to your favorite music, or call a friend. That temporary urge passes. Fourth, have a plan. When temptation hits, what will you do instead? Write it down. Make it specific. Example: if I feel the urge to scroll endlessly on social media, I will instead read 10 pages of my current book. Pre-planning arms you with a powerful weapon. Fifth, celebrate small victories. You resisted that temptation. You got back on track after a setback. Acknowledge your wins, no matter how small. It's fuel for the journey. Remember, setbacks aren't failures. They're learning opportunities, a change to adjust your course. Be kind to yourself. Learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. You've got this. Now get out there and conquer those obstacles. Chapter 15. Living a Life by Design. Creating a Future Driven by Intention. All right, champion. We've reached the summit. You've learned how habits really work. We've dug deep, faced some truths, and discovered your power to change. Now let's talk about putting it all together. This isn't about just tweaking one habit. It's about building a life, a future designed by you, fueled by intention. Think of it like this. You're the architect of your own destiny. The trigger action reward loop? That's your toolbox. The knowledge you gained through this book? That's your blueprint. You have the power to create something magnificent. Remember, intention is the compass. It points you towards what truly matters. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about knowing why you're doing what you do. What's your why? What's the bigger goal you want to reach? What keeps you motivated? The key is to consciously choose your habits based on that intention. Want a healthier lifestyle? Design habits around that intention. Want a thriving career? Build habits that support it. Every small action, every conscious choice, adds bricks to your dream. This process is not always easy. There will be days where you slip up. Remind yourself that setbacks are just feedback. Learn from those moments. See if a habit is not working. Reevaluate and adjust the system. We learned about Keystone habits. These are the dominoes that trigger a cascade of positive change. Identify yours. Focus on those and watch the rest of your life fall into place. Building a life by design is a marathon, not a sprint. Consistency is the name of the game. Small wins, consistently, add up to huge results. Trust the process. Believe in yourself. We talked about willpower. Treat it like a muscle, flexing it regularly. But don't over-exercise. Conserve it to make the right choices when you need it. And never forget the power of belief. If you don't believe you can achieve your goals, you won't even try. Cultivate that I can attitude. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. Ultimately, living a life by design is about self-awareness, intention, and consistent action. It is about creating a sustainable system for personal and professional growth. You now have the tools. Go out there and build the life you deserve. You got this. Now go make magic happen.